I think it's recording.
All right.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Bill and Deb here with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. Well, we had a few people request that we do a little cooking exercise, and really that's not my department. I'm not the cook in the family. About the only thing I do is make oatmeal, and that's just not much more than boiling water and knowing how much.
And well, you gotta carry on.
Well, yeah, you got to know how much oatmeal to pour in.
That's right.
And you got to know how to stir it just right, and you got to know exactly how much salt to put in it and all that stuff. And I do stub my toe a little now and then on the salt, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but very often?
No.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to turn this over to Deb. What are you going to make for us this morning?
This morning we are going to have bacon and waffles. And I'll just kind of show you how I do it.
There you go. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Deb. It's your show.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to, of course, turn the coffee on. And then I'm going to get my cooking devices. Cook bacon on the George Foreman.
And you might want to speak up a little bit just in case.
The grit pan. Does an excellent job cooking bacon. Drains all the fat off. And we try to stay with a somewhat modified keto diet. We're not fanatic keto diet, but we try.
I don't think we're in ketosis yet.
Probably never will be.
Probably never will be.
What we try to do is maintain a low carb meals. And I'm plugging the waffle iron in. Now you're going to say waffles are not low carb. But what I've discovered is almond flour. And almond flour has, I believe, 3 net carbs per serving. But I've also discovered that there's a little bit of a trick that you have to do to make almond flour work for you. And I did that by researching online because I made waffles the way I would normally make waffles and they just didn't turn out right. So what you have to do first, of course, is you whisk your eggs. We're not making a mess.
How many did you use?
I used 2.
Okay.
And then you start adding your other wet ingredients, which is about a teaspoon of vanilla. Almond flour requires a little more baking powder, so I use 2, roughly. I cook like my mother, which is a dab of this and a dab of that. A little bit of salt.
Your mother was a good cook.
And I use raw sugar because I tried stevia in this and I did not care for stevia. But I did put stevia in our syrup because I make my own syrup. And the reason I do that is because I got to looking at the ingredients in sugar-free syrup or other types of syrup, and I can't pronounce all those words, so I figure we don't need to be eating that. So you stir that together, and then we're ready to add, and I add about a cup of almond flour for us. You can hear the bacon's cooking. Coffee's making. As you'll notice, I have a coffee pot running. I have my George Foreman going, and I have my waffle iron going, and I'm sure the hot water tank is still cooking because we each have a shower. And I add a few walnuts. Walnuts here again are high fiber, low carb. And we like the nutty flavor.
How many waffles will that make?
2 really good ones.
that's 1.5 for me and 1/2 for you.
I don't think so. So we do that. Voila. Breakfast is cooking.
And it smells good too. I'm getting hungry.
I turned the bacon because bacon's not quite thick enough to get both sides against the George Foreman grill. So I usually turn it so it gets crisp on both sides.
And we like the thick cut bacon.
Yeah, I always try to do it.
Yeah, we like the thick cut. That's just us.
But see how all that grease is running into the grill? So we don't need to be eating that. And then, of course, I put stuff stored away. But that's just the way people cook. I mean, you clean up after yourself, right? We all do. So that's really not much different here than it was at the house. Now we're doing a little bit different this morning because, like I said, I make my own syrup. This morning we're having strawberry syrup. And the way I made that is you just take about a cup of strawberries, put it in a pan, about 1/4 cup of stevia, and a little tiny bit of water, not very much, and you just cook it and whisk it and mash it until it becomes syrup. And then I store it in the fridge. In the perfect world, we would heat it up, but we don't have, I don't want to set out another thing over here. I could.
Yeah, we could.
But I don't want to.
We do that.
So basically, that's our breakfast. We're also going to serve it with whipped cream, because even though you're on a low-carb diet, it doesn't need to be boring. The carbs in this meal, including the syrup, are going to be about 11 carbs per meal.
Per waffle?
11 per you and 11 per me, so
Okay.
you're getting about 11 carbs for this meal.
Okay.
And that's really pretty good. I mean, if you're a diabetic, which we both are. I don't know if we've made that announcement.
No, we never have, but we were fixing to get into that before too long. Yeah.
But we're both diabetics, so we try to watch our carbs. You're going to say you're diabetic and you drink alcohol. Well, yeah, because we're human. We sure do.
But we don't sit and drink a whole bottle at a time
No.
anymore.
No, we don't.
One thing we have found, though, the particular one that we like, which is Fireball, it doesn't seem to affect our blood sugar that much. And we do check our blood sugar often.
3 times a day.
At minimum of 3 times a day. Sometimes I check it 5. You know, you've got to be able to do that
See,
to track.
you check it after you eat, and I don't care.
Well, I do.
I don't want to know.
Well, if you're going to manage your blood sugar, you got to know what it's like before, and you got to know what it's like after, you know, like 2 hours after you eat. You just got to do that because you've got to know what foods affect you certain ways. That's just all there is to it. But we'll talk about that at another time.
Another time.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is basically how we cook a meal. If I was cooking dinner, I would have some kind of meat going on the George Foreman, and I would have my induction cooktop out and steaming some veggies. Last night we had salmon steaks with cauliflower with cheese melted on it, and it's not difficult to cook when we're out on the road like this.
I've got to say, since we have started this diet, and we haven't been doing this particular thing all that long. It's been maybe, what, a couple of weeks or so, 3 weeks, 3, 4?
We've been in the trailer 3 weeks, so it's been more like a month and a
Well,
half.
and you know, that's how time gets away from me. But I've got to say, ever since we started doing that, and it's progressive each day. It gets better and better, but it's a whole lot easier now for me to control my blood sugar. A whole lot easier. I take insulin, but I'm taking probably 1/3 less insulin now than I did before we started doing this. So, you know, things are working, and I've managed to lose about 7 or 8 pounds so far. So, you started changing your diet long before I did. In the last 1.5 years, you've lost how much?
45 pounds.
45 pounds. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So now watch, folks are going to go back and watch earlier videos.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I'm feeling better. I have more energy. It's just all around feel, everything is better. And so I just got to say that we think we're on the right track. We're not there yet completely, but we're definitely closer to where we were before. So there you go. All right. No butter?
Do you have to have butter when you have whipped cream?
No, I don't. No, I don't have to have butter when I have whipped cream. I'm sorry. I would have taken a little more strawberry syrup, but that's okay too. You're trying to be good. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind.
He is such a baby.
Well, that's because
all right.
You take good care of him.
Wish y'all could join us for breakfast.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make you watch us eat though.
No. We'll never eat on camera.
That's just not right. Anyway, come out and join our camp and we'll make breakfast. How's that? I think that's it.
I think it's cool. Yeah. All right, folks.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, we'll do some more stuff like this. One of these days, Deb will cook dinner for us too, and we'll see what she does with dinner. So anyway, I just want to add, we are literally loving this lifestyle. Absolutely loving it. We were sitting, I got to say this right quick before we go. We were sitting outside. It was a beautiful evening, and the part of the campground that is currently open right now during the winter time, which all changes April 1st. The whole campground opens then. But we ended up with the campground totally full. Everybody up and down had a campfire going. Everybody was visiting. People had music going lightly. It was just, it was one of those moments. It was just absolutely a wonderful moment. And I told my wife then, I said, I've never felt more contented than I do right now.
Anyway. All right.
We'll see you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye now.